What is yoga? The word yoga, it means union. We're not talking about stretching the body. Yoga, the process of yoga, it's stretching the boundaries of your perception to include other levels of reality and other levels of experience, which are right now not in your experience. To give you an example, what happens when you go to sleep? What happens when you go to sleep? From your conscious mind, you go into lower and lower levels of wakefulness until eventually you become completely unconscious. And you're in a dreamless sleep. But just as your wakefulness can go into lower and lower levels of wakefulness, isn't it logical that also your wakefulness can move into higher and higher levels of wakefulness? So your awareness, at least in your experience right now, it's a bit like a rubber band. It can be stretched, it can be contracted. So this is the enormously important role of attention. You find when you're more attentive to something, let's say you're looking at a flower or just a rock or just an ant crawling, but you observe and be attentive, you're perceiving details which otherwise you would have completely missed. Or let's say you're sitting, you're eating your food. Let's be honest, how much of the time when you're sitting and eating your food, you're not really experiencing the food. Your mind is somewhere else. Okay, what am I going to do later today? Okay, what are the duties that I have to fulfill? What appointments do I have? In your mind, you're as if you're caught in a dream. But are you really experiencing the food? When you experience the food, but with a fire of attention within you, you pick up on details which otherwise you would miss. So, in yoga, we've always known this, that you can make your awareness and your attention so sensitive that another dimension within you, which is beyond the body, which is beyond the mind, which is the source from where the body and mind are happening, that dimension can come into your experience. You've heard this in many different religions. They're calling it soul, God, spirit, etc. I don't like these words because, just because of religious conditioning, they carry so many distorted meanings. So, in yoga, we don't want to settle for beliefs, theories, or philosophies. We want to come to a direct experience of what is this fundamental nature. Now, once you experience your fundamental nature, you know something else within you, which is beyond the limitations of the body and the mind. Now, whatever happens in the body and the mind is a very small happening. Fear arises, but you know there's something else in your experience beyond this fear. Or let's say there's pain in the body. It reminds me of a very well-known sage in India. His name was Ramana Maharishi. Now he was at the very last years of his life. His body became so weak, and he had cancer. And when he was walking, he could barely keep his head erect. He had to walk like this. Whenever he'll walk, he'll have to walk like this. So his disciples, seeing this, they asked him, how can you tolerate living like this? We can see very clearly what a torture and a misery the body has become to you. Why is it you don't just want to die and just be free of this misery? So Ramana Maharishi, quite simply, he told them, you give far too much importance to the body. That's how it is. When another dimension within you, which is beyond the body and beyond the mind, comes into your experience, even if the body is in a hell, still you'll see there's a silence that remains untouched. So there's part of the whole process of yoga is just expanding your awareness to come in tune with this silence that's running beneath all experience.